Alright, we are back with round number 4 of our End of the Month Pioneer event, and we have John Aki on Gruul Prowess versus the infamous Tingfeng on Azorius Lotus.
Yeah, this is John, although just being on stream, he is one of the few 3-0s going into round 4, so we brought him back for you guys to enjoy. Although this is a very different matchup from the last one.
Yeah, now he's gonna fight the uphill battle of the Azorius Lotus deck, which is gonna be might be pretty sad on John's end if Ting just has everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those matchups where if I think if John keeps as aggressive of hands as he normally does, oh, looks like our camera is a little off. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so you're trying to say it. So Tingfeng monopolizing the stream time. He's just way too good. So fun little fact of today, Tingfeng went to MXP. So Tingfeng went to MXP Tacoma, and did pretty well there. But unfortunately, on his flight back, on Monday he did not get a flight because he goes on standby. So was there from 7 a.m. to go from 7 a.m. all the way until the day to the end of the night. Did not get a single flight, and on Tuesday today, had to fly down to LA, then back from Tacoma, then to San Francisco airport was the only flight possible to even make it in time for end of the month.
Looks like we're getting started here in round 4. John seeing we have to have a pretty fast start again here with turn 1 Kumano going into Swift Sphere Monstrous Rage. Tingfeng starting with the usual Lotus control start of having Strict Proctor, because if he has Strict Proctor out, he does not need to actually sacrifice any lands for Lotus Field. So bringing up Strict Proctor here on the board here. So Strict Proctor, whenever a permanent enters the battlefield and has a triggered ability, you can counter that ability unless its controller pays 2. And so Lotus Field's sacrifice ability is actually also a trigger, so you just decline to pay for it, and you end up with all your lands intact still.
Well, it's not looking too hot for Tingfeng here, as he's already down to 12 on turn number 3 here. So we're gonna have a Get Lost come out on the Slingshot show off here. So we're gonna go down to 9, and the Strict Part is gonna live. So we're almost at the territory where it's looking pretty scary on Tingfeng's end.
Yeah, but at the same time, John only has 2 cards left in hand, so let's see if he can close it out, or if Tingfeng's gonna stabilize here.
Oh god, I can't wait to hear his Ting on stream. I'm so stable. That's what he always says is like, oh, I'm so stable, bro. That's true.
Yeah. Kumano flipping here. Oh, John does get the map tokens here, so if he decides to crack them to buff up his team, that might be what he needs to crack through for lethal here.
So actually, we only land off the top here. It's not what you want to see. We're gonna play the lane up for green though. Oh.
Yeah, Tingfeng having a rough time right now, though. No Lotus Field, no blue mana either, it seems like.
Yeah, it's Sunken Soda on white with planes and Thespians.
Yeah, definitely not the start he wants to see. I've definitely played against Tingfeng with some aggro decks, and as long as he's able to get at Lotus Field on the field, he's able to stabilize, and it's really hard to get around him once he does that. But this seems like not the kind of hand he wanted to see here. Audacity on the etching, and Monster Sheet. Oh, Tingfeng scoops it up.
That's a bit of it unfortunate on how that game went, because you just don't want to see no blue mana, especially when you're the Azorius control deck. That's a very quick game, number 1.
Yeah, actually,
uncomfortably fast.
Exactly. That's actually Tingfeng's mana base is the kind that he only wants to see if he has temporary lockdown in hand, but I think he only plays them in the sideboard, so having double blue and 1 colorless is really not where you want to be at any time.
Well, actually, double white.
Double white, sorry, terrible. Sorry about that.
Double white.
So we're seeing the 2 players sideboard here. Ting looks like he's bringing a bunch of cards. John, I don't know what's in the Gruul sideboard that might be good for this match, actually.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can bring up that list.
It's hard to assume what. I don't think you have much pieces for the control matchup. Usually it's one that's not really into a meta game. It's not really a meta game. You're going to have in a stock Gruul deck as well. But also, Tingfeng is very much prepared for the Gruul Prowess deck with 8th August on the sideboard. I know that for sure is when we come in.
Temporary lockdown, like we were saying earlier. And I think he has some life gain cards too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Blessed Alliance.
Blessed Alliance.
There you go. That's a throwback from, I think, Eldritch Moon.
Yes. Yeah, let's see.
Maybe some potential pick your poison actually come in. Actually, no. Rampage and Ferocodon sounds about right. That would come in for John Aki's side.
Yeah, Ferocodon, if he thinks Ting's gonna bring in some life gain stuff, maybe Case of the Crimson Pulse or some sort of similar kind of card draw spell. Just in case the game goes along and he needs to refill his hand. Because as we saw in the first game here, John actually came dangerously close to running out of cards. It was good that he was able to close it out, but if Ting had any sort of interaction on the 3rd and 4th turns, they're like, he might have actually just stabilized, and John would have been left top decking.
Yeah, it's not. Both players, all business here. No speaking to each other at all. This we know
not
serious.
The usual kind of banter we usually see on stream.
Yeah, I thought it was almost going to be Ben versus Tingfeng again around number 4, since both of those players were 3-0.
No, although that might mean Ben might actually be playing against the Mazes End deck, maybe? Oh, no, they played last...
Ben just faced Mason. He's actually facing... I should know what Ben's facing. We have a strict Proctor come out now on turn number 2 here for
again.
Tingfeng.
Let's hope Tingfeng is able to follow up with a Lotus Field this time.
At least there's a Hollow Fountain, so there is blue mana.
Yeah.
So Monster Superior comes out. Now
powerful start from John again. The Kumano Swiss Spear 1-2 punch we've been seeing so much on stream.
Down to 17 now. Some of the best starts you can have.
Oh, there's the Lotus Field for Tingfeng. So we do know he has his mana and he has his colors now. Let's see what comes out of this.
So Kumano's going to flip here. Gonna get the etching out.
I see a Soul Scar Mage in hand, a couple of lands.
Pathway comes out. We're gonna have another Swiss Spear come.
Oh.
Ooh, some potential big prowess triggers gonna happen here. We're gonna block the Commando with the Strict Proctor.
That's a very safe block unless John happens to have Monstrous Rage in hand. That'll blow out the Strict Proctor here. Monstrous Rage giving +2/+0 for a turn. Oh, get lost into Blossoming Defense here. Impressive responses by John Aki. Ting tried to hold up interaction, but it just wasn't enough. John had it in hand. This might be the game here, folks.
Yeah, so this means 9 damage out from Tingfeng. 9 damage to Tingfeng here.
It's turn 4. It's already 8-18. This might be another short round here, folks, unfortunately.
So it looks like Tingfeng did see the second card, so it's gonna have a shuffle happen. There was no mulligan, so it's all good. So that's gonna be a Hollow Fountain for the draw here. Is there, let's see, 3, 4, 5 mana here. Temporary lockdown!
Temporary lockdown. If anybody has ever had to play against this as an aggro deck, you know how bad it feels. It really just blows up your whole board. And in red-green colors, there's not a lot of ways that John is able to take care of this. Pick your poison, maybe, if he brought it in. But it doesn't look like he has it in hand. Double Soul Scar Mage here for John. Let's see if Ting is able to stabilize here.
He's so stable. I can already say, I already can feel it in his mind, like, but I don't know. Is that it doesn't look like it could be enough, depending on what Tingfeng has. So it's gonna be pretty rough here because you now have to deal with these 2 Soul Scar Mages that come out after the temporary lockdown. So
yeah, the other thing is also John is out of cards in hand. I think.
Yeah,
he played his last 2 cards in hand, which are the Soul Scar Mages, and this, I mean, depending on what Ting has in hand, I think he might have it. Ooh. Another Lotus Field coming out. Teferi now being able to untap 2 Lotus Fields with Teferi's effect.
So he has like
Ting
6.
having 7 mana open.
7 mana.
Let's see what comes out of this.
Both at Tingfeng. Will this?
I mean, that's enough mana to hard cast Leyline Binding.
That is true. But I don't think Ting is on Leyline Binding, sadly, in his mana base.
Not this time, right?
Well, we have Tishana's Tidebinder here for a Prowess trigger.
Our good old Clownfish in hand.
We're going to play Impulse maybe here?
Ting thinking really hard about this.
It's a rough decision considering that you're going to tap. You're going to have to tap 3 mana at a time. Or
It
something
looks like a
lost.
Guess Lost in hand. Get Lost to Deuce and Impulse, and Tashana's Tidebinder.
I think where we might see a Get Lost come out into a Tidebinder. I'm actually going to play Tidebinder out now. Go to blocks.
Tidebinder just as a blocker. Interesting.
So things went down to 7. What's the card on top? It's another Soul Scour Mage.
Another Soul Scar Mage. So Ting looks like he's stabilizing here. He's going to turn Thespian Stage into a 3rd Lotus Field, having 9 mana to work with this turn. Let's see what he's got off the top.
I'm going to plus draw. Now I gotta get the win con now for Tingfeng here. Oh, here we go. We're gonna float some mana here. Finally got to see the floating mana tokens. Here we go. This one.
Oh,
I made these at work for a reason.
4 mana. Wandering Emperor comes out, floating 1 mana each of white and blue. Making more blockers with Wandering Emperor, I assume?
Yeah, so actually it's a minus, so we can gain the life here. 2-9.
Oh, he exiled the Soulscar Mage. So let's see what he's got. Impulse drawing.
We're now going to go to instant, maybe? Actually, we still have 3 more mana.
He still has 3 more mana, and also Teferi's going to untap his 2 Lotus Fields here, so he's still going to have 9 mana to use on John's turn.
Oh!
It definitely feels like Tingfeng has kind of turned the corner here.
So we're untapping now. 9 mana to work with on John's turn. Oh, John's gonna scoop it!
Scoops it up. We are going to see a game 3 here in the last round here, folks.
Wow, so another fast one, actually, but coming from the opposite end this time.
Yeah, Temporary Lockdown, such a powerful tool against aggro decks. It really enables the deck to turn the corner in these unfavorable matchups. I myself ran into double Temporary Lockdown against Tingfeng last week? No, 2 weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah, I played out my board into 1 Temporary Lockdown. I played another attacker, and he Temporary Lockdown me again. So it's really punishing to see when you start to try and build your board and try and be the aggressive player here.
Yeah, now the real question is, will we see John Aki change up the sideboard, potentially bring Pick Your Poison in if he hasn't brought it in already, but it doesn't seem like he is going to change it up.
Yeah,
maybe it's not even running Pick Your Poisons.
It is possible. I mean, John's in a little bit of a trouble spot, but I don't know, he looks pretty relaxed to me. So he is on the play here, so that does make the difference in a lot of these matchups. By the time Ting is able to play Temporary Lockdown, John might have closed out the game already.
Man, Ting to be able to stabilize here at like basically the perfect time, because he had to get that Temporary Lockdown probably from the Impulse from before, because we didn't see in the hand at all.
Yeah, I mean that was insane. This is what we like to call Tingfeng special here in the booth.
Get stable.
Pretty much. And let's see how John decides to play this game. Is he gonna stay on the aggressive side, or is he gonna play a little bit more carefully?
So
being careful of Temporary Lockdown coming down.
Yeah, so gonna have a shotgun with the Swiss Spear, so no 2-word commando this time. Looks like a shot is gonna come off the top here. You're gonna cast it. We're gonna swing for 2. Down to 17 now. We're playing a little bit fast here.
It looks like John kept a handful of slick shots. I think I see 2 more in his hand.
This might get sticky here. Oh, the Hall of the Storm Giants here. Now we have a potential win con for Tingfeng if we do get to the late game.
Yeah. Oh, third
pathway
land coming in. Pathway.
And another slick shot.
Slick shot number 2. If John has any spell here, this is very punishing. Spike Field Hazard, a very common Blessed Alliance.
Here we go. So we're gonna gain. Oh, we're gonna go down to 10 now instead, because we're gonna gain a little bit of life. I'm pretty sure.
No. Tingfeng looks like he chose the mode target opponent sacrifices an attacking creature.
Oh,
So
oh yeah.
it looks like John sacrifices Swiss Spear here. Not the right colors for Temporary Lockdown. Swiss Spear coming down again. 2 cards left in hand for John. Let's see if he can close it out here. Oh, John looks like he doesn't have anything.
Wow.
A Gonjo coming out for Ting. He took the hit. And that was good because obviously you don't want to get blown out by a Blossoming Defense here. So taking the small hit in exchange for sure killing the slick shot is a pretty good trade here. Swift Spear coming out. Ooh, exiling the slick shot. It seems like Tingfeng might turn the corner again here, folks.
I mean, you're playing all these slick shots, you have all these creature shots, we have no way to turn on the Prowess, so there's not really much you can do because you just be a little bit unlucky on the top decks for John here. It looks like a Sword Scholar Mage off the top as well with a Questing Druid and...
Questing Druid in John's hand. Let's see if that'll allow him to regain the advantage here, although Tingfeng coming up to 4 mana, potentially 5 mana now. Things are not looking good for John.
If I just died, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Ting just dies, the game is a lot more simple. You don't have to try to figure out how to win. Looks like another Wandering Emperor potentially in Ting's hand, so we can play an island. Actually, it's 5 fairy.
A fairy coming out here.
Mr. Hero Dominaria himself.
Yeah, so plussing the Teferi here lets him draw a card and also untap 2 lands, so it's very likely Tingfeng has another Get Lost or similar effect in his hand.
I mean, we hope. Oh, we can Seek the Beast now.
Seek the Beast.
Soul Scour Mage into
Monstrous Rage. Oh no, this might be it for Tingfeng. Having to cast Monstrous Rage. Let's see if Tingfeng responds here. I think that is lethal if he doesn't respond. 2, 3, 6. Yeah, that is exactly lethal if Tingfeng doesn't have an out here.
We need to do something here. So it's going to resolve.
Monstrous Rage resolving. Interesting. This is exactly lethal once again. Tingfeng thinking really hard about something, so he has to have some sort of interaction in hand. He's not just scooping it up.
Oh, I just said actually.
Oh!
Wow, so John Aki is going to go 4-0 of our Random Month Pioneer with the Gruul Prowess. And
Tingfeng was bluffing the whole time.
It's unfortunate that end of the month curse is a very quick last round. This is the fastest round of the night too.
Yeah, technically we can go until 10 p.m. and a little later tonight, but it's, as you can see, it's 9:16 right now. We're done with our stream match here on round 4.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate here for Tingfeng. I mean, I guess if you just have, you know, Swift Spear into Slick Shot into Slick Shot into another Swift Spear into a Soul Scar Mage, and you will eventually get a Prowess trigger off. It's good enough.
Yeah, even if he doesn't have any prowess, creatures threatening, 3-4 damage a turn is still a clock. Just not a very fast one, but he still has to take care of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, like it's a little bit unlucky, but as well too. I mean, it's hard. I think it's harder on the Azorius end when you're facing a lot of these high creature density matchups where you just need to have the answer all the time. It's just really rough to always have it.
Oh, definitely. Having to have the perfect answer at the perfect time it's tiring. I mean, you kind of have to sequence your turn and position yourself best for what might be your next top deck, and if it doesn't show up, then all your preparation was for naught anyways. So, Tingfeng with some really clean lines, but unfortunately, it just didn't come through for him.
Event of the month?
Yeah, I think it's. I've only done 2 of the end of the month events, and this is my second one. And yeah, it was 4-0 first time, so excited.
Now, let's talk about your matchup against the Azorius Lotus combo in the last round here, where game number 1 was very quick.
Yeah, it was just classic slick shots. I was able to get there with all the prowess triggers. Keeping an early aggressive hand was really good. I think I don't know if that one was more of like I think I was able to get there before a board wipe or anything, so that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's talk about that game number 2 where you were very much in control until the Tingfeng unfortunately impulsed into that temporary lockdown and is able to stabilize this out of nowhere. So, I just want your thought process. When that temporary lockdown did hit, what was going through your mind in that moment?
It was more or less the game was already decided at that point. It was like my only goal against Tingfeng's deck is I have to aggro him out and put him in a position where like when he does temporal lockdown me, I'm able to like swing again for the next turn and get lethal. But obviously he hit it really early, and if my hand was like only creature spell, so I wasn't able to like back it up with any sort of instant sorceries or any sort of haste creature. So that was a pretty rough game. I think you saw I conceded because like as soon as I saw like Teferi and Wandering Emperor, it's like I could play this out, but like let's save some time. Let's go to the next game. Yeah.
Yeah. As for game number 3, let's talk about your hand decision because it was very much just it was slick shot with the Monetary Swift Spear with was it Kumano? No.
I had Monetary Swift Spear. I think a single slick shot. I think like a Soul Scar Mage and another Monetary Swift Spear and like a couple 2 lands.
Oh yeah, and you top decked into the other slick shots. So.
Yeah. Because my main thought process was like, I felt it was aggressive enough that I could get there, and if I got it board wiped again, I'd be having enough creatures to like play them back up again. I think I probably should have mulliganed because I only had 1 instant sorcery, so that was pretty like a skeptical keep. But I think it luckily paid off because I was able to get there through the creatures and eventually draw into like more or less some protection spells and some more aggressive, like I think I have Monstrous Rage and stuff like that. So luckily I was able to like kind of get there at the end, yeah.
Yeah, eventually you were able to top deck at least get 1 I think you only had 1 prowess trigger in the entire match at the very end. But like, this is luckily enough where like King just did not have the spot removal. Also, I think it was that the game where you had Blossoming Defense?
I had
no, it was game number 2.
Game number 2 I had Blossoming Defense. I think this game I had Blossoming Defense up, but it was in case when Tingfeng played the Teferi, I was like prepared to also block whatever creature and try and present lethal. I think that was the game where I also had I had the questing Druid and I wasn't sure if I should have done it on his end step or do it on my turn to get for the prowess triggers because I had no way to trigger prowess at that point. I was like, those games were so rough because I didn't have any way to trigger prowess, but I decided it was better to do it on my turn to get the 2 additional damage and hit the Monstrous Rage, which allowed me to get for lethal. So I think that was, in the long run, probably a better decision.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your first 4-0 here.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Ben doesn't, eventually take that number 1 for you off of Breakers.
Sweating I don't have to go up against him. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John, so much. And we'll send it back to Eric.